Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dogs Podcast. I'm Cole Lasher.
And I'm Jonathan Zinder.
We're here in Pompano Beach, Florida, right now.
We're just about to launch the podcast.
Yeah, we're like maybe a day away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you and I have been talking about doing this kind of casually for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I feel like we'll maybe do some research and then we're like, it's not time.
Mm-hmm.
And this last summer, you and I kind of made it a thing that we wanted to pursue.
Yeah, I don't know what was the driving force behind it, but because it's been sitting on our plate for a while. We do have lots of things in the oven always cooking.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we hit the road this time, because we spend 6 months of the year in Oregon with the pack and then 6 months on the road teaching, traveling around, teaching and hosting workshops and working with individuals and whatnot. So when we hit the road, we began.
Yeah, it was just time
Yeah.
for it to come out.
Yeah. But yeah, we're really excited. I know I'm very excited to share in this avenue just our unique way of doing things, whether it's our handling or whether it's the way we think, the words we use. Like there's a lot of uniqueness to us when it comes to dog handling and just the dog kind of industry. I don't really think that we fit very well into that to a degree in the mold.
Well, like we spent most of our careers, you could say, just with you and me and the dogs and some other people that were working with us. Like we were so like Oregon, even now, is still pretty disconnected from the large community in the dog world.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we had one dog friend in the industry, and she was in rescue.
Mm-hmm.
And she came about even like 5 years into like us working together.
Right.
So I feel like a lot of what we did and created and it came from a place that was not influenced by anything else that was happening in the industry.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I was learning about, I wanted to expand my knowledge base and whatnot. I would poke my head into this trainer, this method, and I didn't spend very much time in there looking. And then we were back under our rock, just kind of tinkering around.
And I feel like that was in the time when it was like you'd get a book you'd like buy a book and you'd read a little bit and then be like, meh, this isn't right. Like,
yeah. Well, I'd read them through, but I just, at the end, I was like, it didn't hit the mark.
Yeah.
For me.
But like social media wasn't a thing.
It was just beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just beginning. So, but anyways, we're different and we love that. And we're just looking forward to sharing our views. And, obviously our views are not going to align with every single person. We don't think that there's a silver bullet for everything. But really, we just want to present things in a different way that maybe will resonate with somebody. And maybe that will help them enjoy more with their dog. Because that is truly our driving and motivating factor in life is enjoyment and always has been. So if we can elevate that level of enjoyment or bring enjoyment to somebody else's existence and relationship with their dog, then we want to do that. But to each their own. You'll hear us say this in the podcast over and over again, to each their own. We have our views, we have our ways of doing things, and analyzing things and feeling things. But everyone's different. We realize that. And we think that it's really important for people to find what is good to them, respect others, and just carry on with life and enjoy, and to a degree, mind your own business.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate that we did grow up, quote unquote, the way that we did, because it does present something that is different from what else is out there. And we have plenty of people that come to learn from us, and that's what they say, is they're like, I appreciate that you exist because it's different.
Yeah, and they've tried a bunch of different things and it hasn't resonated with them.
Yeah.
So, like, that's kind of that's our jam.
Yeah. And that was a reason why, like, we wanted to do this. Is just another way to potentially give people a different perspective on what could be going on with the dog in their life, with yeah.
One thing that's different is we consider ourselves companions to dogs. We don't feel that we're superior to them. I actually feel like I'm trying to catch up to dogs that I work with. When I get on the other end of the leash, I'm really just trying to figure them out. They're who they are, and I'm trying to figure out them to get on the same page as them. So we don't use the word owner. We don't judge people for using that, but it's just something that's that we do. Because they're not like a possession to us.
Yeah, they're companions.
They're a being, and that's kind of what we look at them first as.
Yeah.
As a being, not a dog.
Or their breed, or their behavior, or their history.
Yeah, they're a soul. Yeah. There's a soul in there. There's a being in there. There's an energetic thing in there.
Yeah.
That we're looking to connect with.
Yeah.
And the tools that we just use a slip lead and a long line.
And the slip lead we'll convert into like a noseband.
Yeah.
So you like twist it once to turn it into a figure 8, and then it goes over the dog's nose, and then the rest of it is like a slip lead. So we use that and then a slip lead.
That and a long line.
Yeah, and a long line.
And that's it.
Yeah.
For all the dogs that we work with. And that kind of, again, stems from us. I joke about just being lazy when it comes to having to think about a bunch of different tools, or lug a crate around, or lug a play sport around, or this or that. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. Well, I just want to lead, and like, that's it.
Yeah. Or nothing.
Or nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what we always try to get to, obviously.
Yeah.
And then abiding by the laws as we travel around. If there's a leash law, we try not to break that too much. But I'm definitely not lazy. We're definitely not lazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely work some dogs for long periods of time.
Yeah, we give a lot to them.
Yeah.
But we just don't want, like you're saying, we don't want continual maintenance with a dog for their life, or the need for a bunch of tools, or
for the dog's life.
For the dog's life. Like, Oregon Tails was established as an off-leash service. So right there, we're already like 14 years ago saying we want to have no tools involved, and not have the dogs on leash, but have them off, like running and playing and swimming
and like in large numbers too. So the Oregon Tails pack at its peak was 55 plus dogs, and there were 3 people. Well, at one point, because we let everyone go over the years, and then it was just you and I with 55.
And
plus.
at that time, we also had an apprentice. So
Yeah,
we had a
that's right.
human we were teaching as well.
Right. Yeah.
And she would help us with like washing and drying because that was a process.
Yeah, and she would drive the side by side and stuff. But yeah, the just the situation with the pack, like we thought about like using this or that tool, but then we're like, we're gonna buy 55 of those or 55
Right.
plus of those, you know?
And it has to work for every single dog.
Yeah, all the different
in an off-leash
yeah.
situation on unfenced property with all the things happening.
Yeah, and like traveling in close quarters with no crates or kennels or anything. So it's just a different setup. The trajectory that we put ourselves on was just vastly different than a lot of people.
And like a steep learning curve, because from the beginning we had high hopes for the dogs to, be off leash, socialize with many different dogs, release their behaviors, and do it all. Eventually get to a place where they don't need a leash.
Yeah, and they just enjoy.
Yeah, so that was, like you always say, they're like our greatest teachers.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it has been a remarkable 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
To say the least. My goodness. So beautiful. So grateful.
So the main form of communication that we use now that also sets us apart is that when we were growing up in this industry within the business, within Oregon Tales, we didn't really find anything that felt 100% to us. So you ended up creating something that we call the gentle method. And that's now what we use with any dog that comes into our life, whether it be a foster dog, a companion, pack members. That's what we teach in the workshops. So I think that also is
yet another unique thing for sure. And the gentle method, if you're unaware, is based on Vaquero style horsemanship, natural horsemanship. And it's not based on anything in the dog world, which is kind of odd. But
and that's like all we use. We don't.
There's no hybrid with us.
Yeah.
There's no like we do the gentle method and we use food, or we use e-collars, or we don't there's no overlap with anything else. It's just that. So yeah. And I guess just want to reiterate that we're really excited about this and really excited to be connecting with you, whoever you are. And if something comes up and you have questions or this and that, just reach out. Our email is adventures@ortales.com. And we'd love to hear from you and your questions or comments, thoughts, feelings, etc., etc. And we do want to also apologize for the sound on some of these podcasts because we are traveling around. So we'll do like a podcast with somebody, like a friend of ours, which we're going to continue to do like over the years or over the coming years, is sit down with friends of ours or who knows who. But we'll be doing podcasts in like hotel rooms. We've done a podcast in an open dog area that was like very spacious and had like poor sound.
An indoor dog facility.
Yeah. And then we've done a podcast in somebody's basement and their sewer line was backing up. And so there were contractors kind of walking around. So it can get a little funky on the road. But we thank you for your patience and your flexibility with that. I hope it's not too distracting. And
we're getting better about it too.
Yeah.
Like this is new for us.
Exactly.
So.
But I feel like we're 80 or 90% there,
Yeah.
working out the kinks and whatnot.
There's a part of it that's nice. Like Stitch is always here for the podcasts. People that we've had on, they've had their dogs around as well, and that's kind of our style, is to have our work and have experiences be organic, be with the dogs in our life.
Yeah, be pretty natural.
Yeah.
And not so curated, I guess you could say, which is why we don't have an intro.
Right.
And we're not going to, if we have it our way, we're not going to have like sponsors or anything like that. It's just us and you. And that's kind of how we like it. We're not going to muddy the water with trying to make money with this or an intro that just is what it is.
We're just getting right to it.
Yeah, we just get right to communication and connecting with you all.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point we will have an intro, but it will be unique.
Our style.
Of course. But we'll just have to see. So thank you all for being here. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate you sharing time with us. And we really hope that you enjoy as much as possible and continue to seek more enjoyment in life. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.